my island, sand crunching under the kicks, Trump in the shades, Epstein pulling slick tricks, pizza box open, pepperoni to fix, hot dogs grilling, golden buns, no mix, beach breeze blowing, party never slowing, laughter in the air, good vibes overflowing, pizza in the hand, hot dogs steady glowing, island life forever, we just keep on showing, coconuts popping, champagne in the stash, Epstein cracks a joke, Trump bursts out with a laugh, sunset backdrop painted with a flash, gold watch gleaming, they ain't need the cash, waves keep crashing, secrets in the tide, combos get louder, nowhere to hide, pizza crust dropping, buried in the ride, Trump and Epstein living life bonafide, bonfire lit, marshmallows on the stick, hot dogs in rotation, passing them quick, beach chairs leaning, laid back click, power moves discussed, the clock go tick, beach breeze blowing, party never slowing, laughter in the air, good vibes overflowing, pizza in the hand, hot dogs steady glowing, island life forever, we just keep on showing. Coconuts popping, champagne in the stash, Epstein cracks a joke, Trump bursts out with a laugh, sunset backdrop painted with a flash, gold watch gleaming, they ain't need the cash, waves keep crashing, secrets in the tide, combos get louder, nowhere to hide, pizza crust dropping, buried in the ride, Trump and Epstein living life bonafide, bonfire lit, marshmallows on the stick, hot dogs in rotation, passing them quick, beach chairs leaning, laid back click, power moves discussed, the clock go tick, beach breeze blowing, party never slowing, laughter in the air, good vibes overflowing, pizza in the hand, hot dogs steady glowing, island life forever, we just keep on showing.
Yeah. Pool lights gleaming, secrets in the deep end. Epstein scheming, got the cheese too recent. Trump on the phone saying keep it low key. Hush money stacks, spilling tea like oolong leaves. Pizza too fresh, dough undercooked. Pool party vibes, but the rules overlooked. Trump running cover, playing shadow like a crook. Shady business swimming where no one should look. Water ripples whispering lies in the waves. Illegal topping served on silver trays. Cannonballs hide the guilt in the splash. Trump's alibi tighter than a Swiss bank stash. Red cups raised, but the cheese ain't right. Poolside sins under the neon light. Trump in the corner selling fake alibis. The truth dives deep, but it always will rise. Private jets landing, secrets unload. Underage cheese on the pizza they showed. Trump's got the megaphone, nothing to see, but the sauce got spilled, can't unsee the debris. Pizza too fresh, dough undercooked. Pool party vibes, but the rules overlooked. Trump running cover, playing shadow like a crook. Shady business swimming where no one should look.
Here we go.
This is a Dissident Media production. DissidentMedia.net.
In a world where everything sucks, two men have the balls to laugh at it. This is The System is Down.
Hey guys, we're back. Anything going on? Anything going on in the world today? Let's find out.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
Ladies, gentlemen, cultists, people who run cover for Jeffrey Epstein, anybody who happens to be listening, the CIA, Mossad, anybody else. If you're listening, thank you all for being here. Today's episode is brought to you by you guys in the Downers Club. People like James Strickland, William Ogle, Searcher, Nathan Gall, Keenover, Guild, Kate, John Winshower, Bob Seifert, Drex, Robots, Autumn, Sean, CD, Zach, Max, Noah, JC, Just Eco, Denise, Perry, Matt, Osmataz, Danielle, Stoney, Keith, Heffalump, Stefan, Javari, Craig, Ryan, Tim, Howie, Brian, Mary, John, William. If you want to get your name on that list and have it read incorrectly someday, go on over to patreon.com/The System Is Down, where you'll get more weird, more raw, more offensive, more weekly content, typically weekly. We might do one today, or we might just ramble all the way through publicly today. I'm not sure yet, but if you like what we're doing here and you want to see more of it, and you want to hear more of it, and you want the entire backlog, you want the ad-free versions of the show, and you want to support this thing, go on over to patreon.com/The System Is Down and join the Downers Club right now. Right now. Open up a different tab, though. Don't leave here. We got things to talk about. We are back. There's been a slow news week, and there's not a whole lot to talk about, but I can't do it alone. I gotta bring in my man, my boy, my guy, Mr. Dave the Case Casey. How's it going, Dave?
What it is, bro. How are you? Are you fuming? I know you're fuming.
I'm a little hot under the collar, yeah. The Island Boys are at it again, and running cover for their posse, their squad. No, that's not what I meant to do. Yeah, a few things going on. If you haven't heard, what are you doing? No, just focus on me. Look at me. Thank you. All right, kill the music. Whatever. Yeah. How was your weekend, Dave? How was the 4th of July? Did you and your lady do anything fun, exciting, interesting?
So much freedom, dude. Cheeseburgers, fireworks.
America.
It was awesome. America.
Shoot anything?
We're back.
Blow
We're
anything up?
fucking back.
We're so back, baby. Ted Cruz agrees. He had a great 4th of July weekend. He said, Happy 4th of July! Today is also the 47th anniversary of the daring Entebbe, I don't know how you pronounce that, raid. I was only 5 at the time, but I remember being inspired by the amazing courage of the IDF team that rescued the hostages and killed the terrorists. I thought, quote, I gotta do the baby Ted. That's a very Texan foreign policy. It's a very, very Texan foreign policy. That was Ted Cruz's remembering on the 4th of July. He remembered when a foreign government carried out a raid in Israel.
Yeah. I
don't know about you, but I don't remember a whole lot of things from when I was 5. I don't think raids by the IDF would be high on my list as a 5-year-old. What do you think?
Well, I think his dad was in the CIA, actually, so maybe he was aware of that at age 5. Could be.
Even still, did you know what your dad was doing when you were 5?
No, but I think that was an old tweet. I think it was from 2022 or 23.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so I wonder, I'm sure he didn't put anything quite so essing the D of the Zionist establishment this year because,
Really?
Maybe a couple more eyes are on him for being such a stooge. But
yeah,
that's incredibly ridiculous and borderline just, I'm not going to use the T word, but that's pretty
Tarded?
pretty shitty. Pretty shitty to say on 4th of July.
Pretty tarded,
about a
yes.
foreign government and their great achievements. Yeah.
Hey, man, me and my kids went to a big old music festival, got real sweaty, and jumped around in a mosh pit, and I got a bunch of bruises to show for it. It was a good time.
Excellent.
Well, me and my son did. My daughter just kind of hung out on the sidelines, and my wife stayed home and painted the house because that's more her style. Yeah, good times. Good times. And,
Excellent.
yeah, celebrating that we had, where we were, there was like a city on every side of us. It's in like the Champaign area, and so there was like, for 48 hours straight, it seemed like there was fireworks going off in every direction around us, which is
Wow.
pretty cool and got old eventually and a little bit frightening at some point. And yeah, I don't know how many of those were shootings or anything, but at least one of them probably.
Just a couple.
Yeah, so as I said, pretty slow news week, Dave. Not a whole lot going on in the world. I mean, Trump came out and, well, Trump's administration came out and gave us an update on Jeffrey Epstein, and that's pretty much all I give a shit to talk about at this point. On the show and outside of the show, Did you watch that video of Alex Jones where he was like, I feel nauseated. I feel like I could go throw up, and he like tears up and shit. I get that. Like, there's a lot of people ragging on him, but I get that. Like, the amount of the amount of evil that it takes to. So, not to jump ahead too far. The story is, for those that are under a rock or not on Twitter, apparently nobody cares about this case anymore except for us. But Jeffrey Epstein, if you recall, was arrested for having a child sex trafficking island where he was trafficking children to elitists and pedophiles, seemingly for blackmail reasons and power reasons and all the things that, happen in D.C. And this has been, even before he got arrested, it was an open secret. Everybody, people that cared to look into things knew that this was going on. Reporters said that afterward that they were pissed off that their story got squashed, that they wanted to, I don't remember who the reporter was, but she said that I wish that I would have reported on this 10 years ago because I knew all about this and we weren't able to report on it for whatever reason. And then Jeffrey Epstein got arrested and we were like, holy shit, it actually happened. Jeffrey Epstein got arrested and then he got locked up and then he killed himself. And nothing else happened. Nothing else happened at all, is what we're supposed to believe now. Jeffrey Epstein on high suicide watch in maximum security prison on suicide watch. We were told that the guards fell asleep and the cameras weren't malfunctioned when he died, so we don't have the footage and nobody can verify what happened there. Suspicious enough already. Leaving out, the fact that he's got dirt on everybody and their brother in the elite circles, we have to assume. Donald Trump ran on, I am going to release, one of his things was I'm going to release the JFK files, the MLK files, the this files, the that files. And when asked if he would release the Jeffrey Epstein files, he did say, yeah, probably. Yeah, and we played that a couple weeks ago where he's like, yeah, I probably would. There's some things, like you don't want crazy conspiracy theories getting out there or whatever. Like that was his concern, that people would be wrongfully accused or questioned based on the release of these files. But he did say that he was going to release them. And at the time, we all just said, good enough, good enough. If you're even discussing the Epstein files at this point, good enough for me. Because, again, as opposed to what? Nobody else has talked about it. It's a crazy conspiracy theory, even though the dude's sitting in jail and his gal Friday is also sitting in jail for the same thing currently. Well, Jeffrey Epstein's dead now, but allegedly. Ghislaine Maxwell is sitting in jail because they were trafficking children to elitists. Everybody knew this, and the Trump administration knew this, and Pam Bondi knew this. Pam Bondi came out right after, getting appointed, and she did her publicity stunt where she had a bunch of right-wing influencers, all of which happened to not question Israel in any way, shape, or form, but a bunch of right-wing influencers came to the White House and they were given a binder, and they brought the binder out and said, see, we've got the Epstein files. They're doing the thing. And Pam Bondi said, the Epstein files are on my desk. We know all of this stuff. The Epstein list was on Pam Bondi's desk. The Epstein list was in the binders. The Epstein list was not in the binders. There was no real new information in the binders. And the Epstein list that was on Pam Bondi's desk now does not exist. That is what we are supposed to believe. The Epstein list is just gone. There was never a list, actually. There was never a list. There were never clients. There was never blackmail. You are retarded if you ever thought that there was some sort of crazy conspiracy going on. We are being... This is like a worldwide humiliation ritual at this point. You are being gaslit to believe, or to stop believing what they have said. Within the last few months, they have talked about this, but now it just does not exist. And they had this announcement. Says, as a part of our commitment to transparency, the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have conducted an exhaustive... I can't read that. It's way too small. 1 second. And it won't blow up. Okay. Nope, it's getting smaller. Where are you going? All right. As part of our commitment to transparency, the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation have conducted an exhaustive review and investigative holdings relating to Jeffrey Epstein. To ensure that the review was thorough, the FBI conducted digital searches of its databases, hard drives, and network drives, as well as physical searches of squad areas. Locked cabinets, desks, blah, blah, blah. We searched a bunch of shit. 300 gigabytes of data and physical evidence. I mean, we were told by Pam Bondi just a couple weeks ago that there was like dump trucks of files that were coming in, and there was countless thousands and thousands of hours of footage. Now that all of that is not true, well, it is true, but all of that footage is just stuff that Jeffrey Epstein downloaded onto his hard drive. He found it on the dark web and downloaded it. And he had it on an island. I don't even know where to begin with this thing. There's just so much stupid, but I just want to say, first and foremost, fuck you, Donald Trump. Fuck you. And we'll get to all the reasons why, but he's currently running cover for pedophiles, and everybody knows it, and all the MAGA cultists are going to go right along with it. They'll at worst say Pam Bondi should be fired because she got confused with her lady brain. No, Pam Bondi was telling the truth, and now Pam Bondi's not telling the truth. Dan Bongino was telling the truth. Now Dan Bongino's not telling the truth. Kash Patel was telling the truth. Now Kash Patel is not telling the truth. Donald Trump was telling the truth. Now he's not telling the truth. Again, we're going to get into a little bit more of these things, but your thoughts so far, Dave, on all of this? I'm dumbfounded by how retarded this is.
That was a pretty good breakdown of the chain of events. So to me, man, this is incredibly blackpilling. I'll say that it looks to me like Pam Bondi was placed there specifically for this role. And when I say this role, I mean not attorney general, but that person who will lead the cover up as top attorney. Mm-hmm. You won't prosecute these people. So she was attorney general, I think, maybe not during the first Epstein trial, like in I think it was Palm Beach, Florida, but like soon after she was the attorney general of Florida. So she's like touched down on this case before.
Right. This isn't new to her.
Right. And Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, you know, if you're not Cat Turd or some of these other like complete cocksuckers out there who will just till death, till the boot is on their neck, Trump's D. If you're not one of those guys, then you should understand that those influencers are placed there to influence you.
Yeah.
They're there to
they were brought into the White House for it.
From me. You know me, Kash Patel. Would I lie? I mean, he said something like,
yeah, I don't need any evidence at all. Just, you know me. You know I wouldn't lie to you about this. Don't you think if I had the information, I would give it to you guys? Wink, wink. Like,
right.
Yes, that's the problem. Because you do, and you're not.
I don't think that you'd give it to me. I don't think anybody that is at the head of the FBI is going to... I mean, that's just... It's so sad, dude. But that's the same guy who was like, oh, yeah, we're going to tear down the FBI. We're going to abolish this. And we're going to make it... You know, he was saying like some really great shit. But that's like kind of the moral of the story, man. Like, that's the Trump way. Mm-hmm. You say whatever it takes, baby. Whatever it takes, that's what I'm saying. Because I'm going to win. And then once I win, you can fuck right off.
Yep.
That's what these people do. That's what they're doing. And they're really telling us, dude, that we're in control. You're never going to know the truth. And you can swing at the king all you want. Mm-hmm. But it won't do shit.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Now, you said Cat Turd. It's funny because a few of these right-wing influencer types, like Cat Turd, which is the world we live in today, Cat Turd, immediately after they released this, was outraged. He was like, this is not acceptable. Obviously, this is a lie. And it took him like 15 minutes to realize, wait, that means Trump's administration is lying. Wait, no, hold on. And then he immediately about-faced and started calling anybody who cared at all about Epstein, they're all crazy or whatever, because who cares? Who cares? And Trump said the same, and we'll get to that. But before we do, I wanted to bring up Connor Boyak's timeline here, creator of the Tuttle Twins and whatnot. He said, February 21st, 2025, Bondi says Epstein files are on her desk under review per Trump's directive. February, March, April, May, June, July. Less than 5 months ago, the files are on Pam Bondi's desk. February 26th, a couple days later, announces files, including flight logs and names, to be released. February 27th, cites victims' privacy for delays. Also February 27th, releases Phase 1 files. 200-plus pages, mostly public, hands binders to influencers, accuses FBI of withholding thousands of documents. February 28th, the next day, demands FBI deliver all Epstein files by 8 a.m., orders probe into withheld documents. I forgot about that one. Yes, demanded that dump truck of files be delivered on February 28th. March 2nd, claims FBI misled her, says she now has thousands of pages under review, official who withheld docs fired. Okay. March 14th, getting a little bit closer to now, she says she received a truckload of unreleased documents, no release timeline given. Now fast forward to April 28th, covertly recorded saying FBI reviews, quote, tens of thousands of Epstein videos with children. May 7th, publicly states FBI is reviewing tens of thousands of videos, denies files are missing, cites victim protection. And now, July 6th, nothing to see here, no victims, no client list. So, I guess that's case closed. Like, it would be fine. It wouldn't be fine. It would be better if Donald Trump and Donald Trump's administration, instead of saying that it doesn't exist, what would be better is if they said fucking nothing at all. If they just shut up and forgot about it and said, still working on it, keep kicking the can down the road. They do it for everything else. I don't understand why they didn't kick the can down the road on this one. Like, and if you're going to say anything at all, if you're going to bring it up, how do you not have something better than what files? What are you talking about? That's ridiculous. You people are crazy. Case closed. Like, how in the time of AI, like they released the 10 hours of footage of Jeffrey Epstein's cell or something, allegedly Jeffrey Epstein's cell. I don't even believe that anymore, but there was still a minute missing from that footage. And it's like, how did you not patch that up? Of all the things that AI could do, you could have at least extended the footage and then like made the timer tick for that extra minute. But no, they don't give a shit. They don't care that we know. That we know. They know we know. They know that we know that they know. They don't give a shit. They're just like, no, we're doing other things. And immediately after, it was like, oh, shit. It was the next day. I gotta find it. The Trump clip where he's like, fuck you. Why would you ever talk about that? It was, I'm getting ahead of myself. I should find it. Say something while I find this, Dave.
Yes, the clip that you're talking about is very telling, extremely pathetic, and it gives off total Hillary Clinton subpoenaed vibes when she had to go in for Benghazi. But at least they forced her to give a defense where she goes, at this point, what difference does any of this make? This is the same fucking shit that he's doing.
Or Ben Shapiro saying, at this point, what difference does the JFK files make? Like,
right.
Same shit.
Right. But Trump is he's not good here. This is coming off very weak, very
beyond weak.
Forced. Yeah.
Like, it's not just weak, it's like dirty. You can feel it. It's like scummy as shit. Because he's using the same tactics that fucking CNN used against everybody who supported Donald Trump for the last 12 years. Why would you think that? That's stupid. That's ridiculous. Why would you feel that way? Here's the clip.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the death?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey,
I
Pam,
could,
could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas?
First off, why has he been talked about for years, Don? It's because he ran a child sex ring on an island. Like, it's the grandest conspiracy of all time that has been proven true over and over again. Why are you guys still talking about this? Again, this was the day after the White House, or not the White House, but the Department of Justice released their announcement that they found nothing in the thousands and thousands and thousands dump trucks of documents. They found nothing. Immediately the next day, Donald Trump doesn't know why. He's perplexed why anybody would be asking about Jeffrey Epstein at such a time as this. Well, there's floods happening in Texas. Oh, yeah, but you guys did that thing yesterday. He just thinks that was good enough. Sweep it under the rug.
We have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is
Can you pause it?
unbelievable.
Yeah.
This is the kind of thing when he calls him a creep. This is, I bet you, dude, the vast majority of America thinks that Jeffrey Epstein is a pedophile. He's not a pedophile. He procured women
he
and
probably
girls.
still is, but yeah.
Okay, maybe. I don't know. That's not what this is about.
Sure.
Like, it's not about, like a pedophile.
It's not about
is
Jeffrey Epstein.
He's not, yes. It is about the trafficking ring and the blackmail operation that he was working on behalf of. He was not a mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they would love for you to think, that he was a dirty sicko. But
is
he's
he even
dead
a mastermind? Because he wasn't doing anything from the sound of it.
No,
He might have been
that's what I'm
kidnapping
saying.
kids, but he wasn't doing anything with them.
No, he was an employee. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
And he was set up to do a thing. That was his job.
Absolutely.
Bro, crazy.
Yep. Jeffrey Epstein did not hire himself. Now,
This guy, this creep, that is...
now this, just Trump's demeanor here, the body language, everything, it feels like a parody. It feels like Michael Scott from The Office trying to get out of a lie. Like, oh, what? I can't. Why would you be talking about that? That's what? No. Let's move on. This is a waste of time. That's just crazy. That thing that you're saying, like, that's old news that came out yesterday. Unbelievable. It's so gross.
That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that,
I also like how he felt the need to, like, the question was directed at Pam Bondi, and he's like, hold on, let me get in here. What are we doing? This is ridiculous. Like, he had to mansplain over her in order to be like, I don't know what she's about to say, but I'm just going to cut this off right now and let y'all know. And here's the thing. The DOJ put out the statement, and everybody's like, well, obviously that's not Trump's view either. Like, he's gonna crack down on this. The copium was immediately right out the gate. Everybody was like, well, it's Pam Bondi's fault. It's the Department of Justice's fault. Trump's going to get to the bottom of this. And then they're like, hey, Pam Bondi, what do you think of this? And he's like, I'm going to step in here and alleviate all of your concerns by letting you know I agree with everything she's about to say, and this is all stupid. Why are we talking about Epstein, that thing that I ran on in my campaign?
February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's
Which
what I
also
meant by
haven't
that.
gone anywhere.
Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent.
This dude just bought an island. Got an island. He's friends with everybody somehow. Got his money somewhere. Don't know where. Doesn't matter. He bought an island so he could sit in his palace and watch child porn on his computer that he downloaded off the internet. Sure.
Agent. I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video.
I've got an
showing
explanation for that too,
definitively-
actually.
It's not a good one, but we've got one. Don't worry. We were, and like her explanations for these are bad, but they're still better than the initial announcement. Again, my biggest, not my biggest issue, but the thing that appalls me the most is that they said anything at all if they didn't have anything to offer other than, who's Epstein? What are you talking about?
The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night.
Yeah,
and that's
that's the biggest concern that everybody had. The minute, not the announcement. It's so gross. It's not just gross, it's fucking evil. And there was also a string of right-wing influencers immediately after this who were like, maybe this is quadruple 1000D chess that Trump's playing. And he's like, even smart people, seemingly smart people like Patrick Bet-David were floating this idea. Judge Joe Brown went on Alex Jones and said the same. Maybe he's just using this as blackmail against all the people that are going against him right now. He's using against it all the elitists himself. Well, that... Even if you get me to believe that ridiculous trust the plan 12D chess bullshit, okay, let's give benefit of the doubt, take you at this, and assume that that's the case. Donald Trump, because people are attacking him. I don't know who they are at this point, but people are attacking Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is going to wait on releasing the Epstein files where it's evidence of elite individuals in positions of power who were raping children. So he's gonna blackmail people himself with rape tapes of children. That's your hero. All right. And I even saw some people like, he's gonna drop them right at the end of his term. So just wait. Just wait. Trust the plan. Trust the plan. Motherfucker, it's been 12 years of trusting the plan. Stop trusting the plan. He doesn't have one. He's making this shit up as he goes at best and being puppeted along. Yeah, just the cope of like, our guy can't be saying something that we don't like ever. We have to agree with him. And immediately the Laura Loomers of the world and everybody came out and they're like, Pam Bondi's the evil one. It's Pam Bondi. Fire Pam Bondi. Sure. That's like, I don't know, arresting Bill Gates and leaving Jeffrey Epstein free. Like, Donald Trump is the guy in charge here who is defending this all the way and wanting everybody to shut up about it. Also, Charlie Kirk came out with a statement that was like, notice all the silence from people like, he named a bunch of Democrats like Nancy Pelosi or whatever. No, none of these Democrats want to say anything about this. See, that's compelling, or that's case closed, that they're involved in it or whatever. It's like, so their silence is condemning, but Donald Trump telling everybody to shut the fuck up about this, that's not condemning? That seems way more bad to me. If Donald Trump shut the fuck up about it, we wouldn't be in this position of having this conversation right now. If Donald Trump said nothing, that would have been the better. I'm not trying to give ideas out to elitist probable pedophiles like Donald Trump, but if you wanted people to not get upset, you could have just shut up. I don't know if he's in it. I don't know if his friends are in it. I'm sure a lot of his friends are in it. I bet he probably is to some degree too. Possibly even more than we already know. I would not be surprised at this point. And if he doesn't want people to speculate such things, maybe he shouldn't flagrantly, obviously gaslight, bullshit, lie to the entire American public. Just a thought. Any thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, whether or not Donald Trump, like if there's Trump Epstein tapes, is almost irrelevant because
Right.
it's what is clear is that he is not in control. The same people that put Pam Bondi there put Trump there. Sitting next to Marco Rubio right there.
Yep.
We are captured, motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what this is about. Epstein is a guy who was working on behalf of some of the baddest, most evil motherfuckers on the planet, dude. You know that. I mean, like, that's what this is really
Trump knows
about.
that. Everybody
Trump
knows that.
knows that. Trump is captured. Trump has no choice. So he's just trying to do what he can do. I'm telling you, I think that the key to Trump being subservient is his daughter. They have him by the balls because they have his daughter. And
What's his daughter's
he's
tag?
got
Is it, what's his face?
to
Jared Kushner?
Jared Kushner, who is the godson of Netanyahu.
Ah, yes. Sometimes I forget.
I think that that's the thing. Like, for whatever reason, he can't do it. He can't, even if he wanted to, I'm not saying he does, but even if he wanted to be everything that MAGA thinks that he is, he can't do it. He won't do it. He's not that guy.
He might
could
do it, but he clearly won't do it at this point.
Oh yeah. I mean, look at the performance he just gave to get you to just, this creep. Aren't we done talking about this? We got a natural disaster in Texas. Like, why aren't you in Texas? Weren't you giving Joe Biden shit for not being in
He was.
wherever that last, I think it might have been Texas, which, by the way, Ted Cruz was on vacation both times they've had those storms.
Huh.
Yeah,
Also, there was some weather modification experiments going on 2 days before the flood in Texas. I haven't dug into that more, but feel free to. The weather modification business has stated that it definitely had nothing to do with them, so it probably doesn't. And Jeffrey Epstein killed himself and all that stuff.
Sure.
Patrick Bet David. Here's we've got a few examples here. Patrick Bet David. Actually, I have a ton. If we just scroll through my my timeline at some point of just absurd nonsense, but Patrick Bet David sadly said, "Wild guess. Check this out. Trump is using Epstein's client list as leverage over the deep state and other powerful world leaders. Okay? To get things done. Trump mastered this game a long time ago." Okay. How? How is he doing that? How is Donald Trump saying the list never existed, him threatening the deep state or the elites or whoever? How is this any sort of threat? Him saying, we're going to brush this terrible thing that you're all implicated in, we're going to brush it under the rug. That's him threatening them and blackmailing them and using it against them. Like, grow up. Obviously, that's not happening. That's not happening. Donald Trump doesn't want to do this. If you had to guess, I would guess probably more likely Donald Trump got a phone call or 2 or 3 or 25 letting him know what would happen if he did release the Epstein client list. That doesn't justify it. I mean, to some degree, from a human standpoint, I can understand that. But if Donald Trump, like, I don't even want to give him the benefit of the doubt on that. Like, I'm sure that happened to some degree. I don't know who. I don't know which mega donor, whatever, or anybody that was on the list gave him the call, Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos or whoever. But even if that is the case, it's not that he just brushed it aside. He said, stop asking about this. He said, you are bad if you're asking about this. Who is wasting time asking about Jeffrey Epstein? So even if you give him the benefit of the doubt that he's playing this 25D chess and he's got some trick up his sleeve that he's going to use 4 years from now when none of this matters, that's not, I don't know how you got that out of Donald Trump saying, why is anybody talking about this? This is stupid. Let's not do this. This is a waste of time. Like,
Because that's his job, to put it to bed.
Right.
That's his job, to put it to bed.
But for the supporters to be like, no, he's got something up his sleeve. He's
Of course.
This is all part of the
To
plan.
Patrick Bet-David's point, like, listen, and I've heard, take this with a grain of salt, but he's from Iran, and I've heard that he's kind of like the token Zionist influencer. Oh, look, I'm from Iran. I would never say anything. You know, like he's just plays that role. But he shared a picture of Trump with Roy Cohn, who was in the fucking Jewish mafia, who taught Trump in the 80s, 70s maybe, about the blackmail schemes.
Mhm.
And basically told him, you can do, you know, whatever, man. You can go, just don't do these couple things.
Right.
That's where they'll get you. You know, and
Yeah.
then Trump has been a philanderer, but I don't think that he is a child sex predator. I don't think that. But I think that they have enough. They still, that doesn't mean that they don't have him by the balls. And I think that's what Patrick Bet-David is trying to get across as an influencer is like, look, Trump knows all about the sexual blackmail schemes. He would never fall for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
It's a lot like Dan Bongino being like, look, you know me. You trust me. You know that I tell the truth about these things. Like when I said Jeffrey Epstein needs to be watched, that case needs to be watched, and it's definitely corrupt. But you trust me, and I looked at it, and there's literally nothing there. Yeah, it's a lot of people saying, trust me, bro, who work for the government, who aren't presenting a fucking shred of evidence, even to conclude that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. They're not providing any evidence of that. You would think there'd be something. You would think somebody took a picture when they walked in and found him hanging from his bedsheet. Something. Like maybe the cameras were malfunctioning while the guards fell asleep in the maximum security suicide watch penitentiary. Maybe.
No, I was just
you didn't take a picture? You didn't take any sort of evidence?
I was just watching the Tucker Carlson. He was some guy from The Hill. I can't remember. It's his most recent episode. But he said, dude, it was pretty obvious that an inmate killed Epstein.
Sure.
And within a day, they shipped out like so many people from that prison and just put them in other prisons. And you can't get that information. There's no like freedom of information request to see like, okay, who was there that day? Where did you take those guys to the next day? None of that. Just a bunch of killers in a prison. And then the next day, we just had to do some transfers. So it's just like extra stuff. I hadn't heard of that. I thought that was pretty wild.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard that either. It's all stupid. Like at best. Like if I'm giving you full benefit of the doubt, you are an idiot. That is the best I can give Donald Trump at this point. Like we've been through the Iran stuff. He was all anti-war, and he was now he's like, like we're gonna bomb Iran. We're going to send more money to Ukraine for. I've got that clip somewhere. Gonna send more money to Ukraine for not offensive weapons, but defensive weapons, because those are different, and that makes it better. But here it is. Here, let me just pull it up, and we can hear it from the scumbag's mouth himself. Here we go.
Mr. President, are you planning to send more weapons to Ukraine?
We're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit
Obviously.
very hard now.
Yeah.
They're getting hit very hard. We're going to have to send more weapons.
Obviously, I'm going to do
Defensive
exactly the
I
opposite
love
of
how
what
he
I said.
says this stuff. I love how he says this stuff matter of factly.
Right.
Just like when he came out and he said that he was going, oh, well, of course, we got farmers. We can't just let the farmers go.
Right.
And, there's some hotels and things. We're probably going to take care of that. Like he just says it like it wasn't the exact opposite of what he's been saying for 10 years.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Complete revert. I mean, he bitch slapped Zelensky a couple months ago, and now about
Great TV. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Made for a great podcast. Bitch slapped Zelensky, at least in WWF style, and told him that you're not getting any more things because you are disrespectful and you don't wear a suit and tie to my party or whatever. And now he is like, well, yeah, we're gonna send more. We're gonna send more military grade weapons to Ukraine.
NATO. Trump went to NATO. They called him daddy, so he loves them now. And at the same time, Zelensky showed up in a suit to NATO. And now he
knows where his real bread's buttered.
Right. So I'm sure that they all had a big, they became a happy, fun bunch.
Yeah.
Now everybody's funded.
Yeah, they're really showing their balls. And if they wanted to cover their balls, they should try out sheath underwear.
Yeah.
Guys, prepare to revolutionize your undercarriage. Your I don't know, your deep state undercarriage that is hanging out all over the place. Put it away. Put them balls away with Sheet's patented dual pouch technology. It's like your boys get their own VIP lounge. One compartment for the wand and the other for its cult members. Dave, any thoughts?
Yeah, so, whether you're a city dude or an island boy, whether you're sprinting through life or just trying to keep things chill, Sheath's moisture-wicking, breathable fabric keeps you feeling like you're on permanent vacation, like you hung yourself in your cell.
So that's right, Dave. That's absolutely right. So go to sheathunderwear.com and hang your balls right. Use promo code SYSTEM at checkout. Say hello to the sweet, sweet breeze of island freedom. Don't settle for less. Choose underwear engineered for your boys at sheathunderwear.com and use promo code SYSTEM, because that'll let them know that we sent you. And then after that, if you are, needing a reset, a break from all of the news that's going on in the world, perhaps you should try Mycadelics, which is peeking out there. Oh, there we go. Get ready to grow your mind and your mushrooms with Mycadelics, the only mushroom grow kit endorsed by the legend himself, Mike Tyson.
That's right. Iron Mike, the baddest motherfucker on the planet, brings you a simple, at-home solution to cultivate your own magic mushrooms. Mycadelics makes it easy with everything you need in one bag. Just add your spores. Watch them babies grow.
Speaking of bags, sheath underwear. Just kidding. So go to advancedmyco.com and use promo code SYSTEM to save $5 off at checkout and experience the psychedelic revolution of the champ. Must be 21 or older. May experience psychedelic effects from the psychedelic mushrooms that you are growing. Just got to let you know, in case you didn't know. I mean, I don't even know if that's a warning as much as it is a promotion, but
as much as a guarantee.
That's right, if you do it right. Guaranteed to leave you escaping this hellhole that we live in called Earth at the moment. I've seen a lot of people like, oh, quit being so black-pilled. And you've been that way in the past. Dave, do you still feel like I shouldn't be so black-pilled? Because at this point, I'm like, fuck you, fuck it all. Like, you are the exact same, or no, you're not even the exact same as the fucking everybody else. You're worse because you pretended way better, and now you're just the same. Should I be black-pilled, Dave?
You remember when you changed up the intro song? And I was like, yo, man, in a world where everything sucks. And everything was going great. I'm like,
it doesn't suck,
we
bro.
should be so negative, bro.
Hold on, wait 3 months.
Just pause. Yeah, we're exactly where we need to be for that to make total and perfect sense. You've been proven right, and way to go on that. No, so the dichotomy is, as usual in this yin-yang of life, is that like my life has never been better.
Sure.
But
same.
The world has never been shittier. And I think there's got to be a dichotomy there between, like as the world continues to descend into madness, our heroes like Scott Horton will be showing up on the biggest shows in the world, which is crazy to think of. Dave Smith is like a celebrity at this point, like he's achieved another level. Like these are all good things, but it's because everything sucks.
They are good things, similar to COVID. And it should be noted, like, pay attention to the people who are rising in popularity and who are getting attacked by the James Lindsays and the Jordan Petersons of the world, because they have opinions that stand firm the entire time. Like, this is being played up as though these panicans, as they call them, or psychopaths, anybody who disagrees with the mainstream narrative is being attacked right now. And the mainstream narrative is currently that Jeffrey Epstein basically did nothing, barely existed. He was gross because he was jerking off on his island watching kiddie porn. But other than that, there's obviously nothing there. Like, you're being lied to, and anybody who falls for this is worse than anybody who fell for COVID. This is worse than COVID, in my opinion. Like the COVID thing, that was a big propaganda campaign. They tried really hard. They brought out all the scientists. Nobody understood it. Nobody knew what was going on. It was confusing all around. This is not confusing. This happened, and we all know it happened. Everybody knows this happened, and now they're telling you it didn't happen. And the propaganda campaign behind it is dog shit. I've got a few people here and many, many more. Let's go ahead and do Ben Shapiro first here. This is Ben Shapiro's take on the entire thing. And as we all know, Ben Shapiro, famous for smashing 16-year-old liberals in debates about abortion and transgenderism and whatnot. He has been off college campuses for a while, and now he's, I don't know, facts don't care about your feelings. It was his slogan of yesteryear, and now, the facts have changed. The facts have changed. Obviously, the facts have changed because the government told us the facts have changed.
We now have the answers. And the problem is this. People who never hedged their bets, people who never at any point suggested to you that they don't have data to back up the speculation, that the speculation was in and of itself the conclusion that if you speculate without evidence, that amounts to an actual conclusion to an investigation, they're going to be very upset today because it turns out that the DOJ and the FBI have concluded that Epstein didn't have a client list and died by suicide, according to a memo detailing the findings obtained by Axios. Now, again, does this put to bed like all inquiries? Of course not. People can continue to speculate as much as they want. And I think there's still open questions here regarding...
It does not put everything to bed, but you should also shut the fuck up about them. Keep them to yourselves.
How did Epstein make his money? Right, that's a very serious open question. And the speculation for a long time was he made his money from blackmail. But the DOJ and the FBI, again, run by people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are telling you, I'm not telling you, they're telling you, people who are members of the Trump administration, people you elected and put into these positions to get you the truth on this matter, are telling you that he didn't, in fact, he was not murdered, he did not keep a client list, and he did not blackmail powerful figures. Okay, right? That is the thing that they are saying, not I. They are saying this. If you're willing to throw that over and claim they're lying, then I'd like to see you present your evidence that they are in fact lying. Because I know Dan. I don't think that Dan Bongino is lying to me. I know Kash Patel a little bit. I don't think Kash Patel is lying to me. I don't think these people are lying to me. Which means that if somebody else continues to claim that they're lying, they ought to provide their evidence at this point. And now is the point at which the facts on the ground have changed. And so either you ought to shift your opinion based on the facts that have now emerged, or you ought to acknowledge that this was never a fact-based inquiry in the first place.
Nazi fags.
It's obviously the fish is still up there. I also added a few more overlays this week, Dave, if you haven't noticed.
I like it.
Now that the government has told me that that everything that we believed and saw with our own eyes, now that we know that the government says that that's false, because our buddies work for the government, now we can trust the government, and we should know that if Dan Bongino says it, then I'm going to believe it. If Kash Patel says it, I'm going to believe it. Even if it's very clearly, obviously, a bunch of bullshit, I'm going to believe it. What do you do with that?
We tie it back to the original conspiracy because he works for the same people that Epstein did. That's what we do, because we keep it real, son. That's what Ben Shapiro does. He goes to bat for the Zionist regime, always has. He's been pushing for war with Iran for them since he got started. He tried to take out Ron Paul in 2012 because he wanted to end the Fed and end the wars. Mm-hmm. Can't have that. Public enemy number one. Mm-hmm. Crazy kooky Ron Paul. The Jews.
Mm-hmm. He also... Go ahead.
That's what he does, bro. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, he please yell. This is the most yelling I've felt the need for in a long time. He's also like, well, if you have evidence to the contrary, please present it. 20 years, bro. 20 fucking years of evidence. 20 years, like long before he got locked up. There were a lot of us pointing out, hey, that seems like there's a pattern here. It seems like there's something going on there. Then he got locked up, which was mind-blowing to begin with, that our government locked up Jeffrey Epstein. Crazy that even happened. I need to know, like, I want to know how that happened more than anything else, because if this is the direction we're going, even under Trump's administration, long after, if it was all just leading up to, well, this was nothing, then why did we even arrest the guy? Why not just let him keep doing it? Were there too many people talking about it? I don't feel like there was that many people really talking about it. There were like Alex Joneses and crazy conspiracy theorists like this show that was talking about Jeffrey Epstein long before they were talking about Jeffrey Epstein. Then they locked him up and they let him kill himself and they did all this stuff. Why? Like, I don't even understand why. If it was all leading up to Donald Trump getting elected based on he's going to release files for this case and that case and that case, and then him to just be like, no. I'm perplexed as to why they locked up Jeffrey Epstein at all. I'm also perplexed as to why Donald Trump's administration didn't just kick the can down the road. It's confusing. And
because you can't kick the can anymore. Because
of course they can.
Pam Bondi is there. Pam Bondi is there. Trump is there to put this to bed, because it's not about the guy. It's about getting the real organizational structure of a human trafficking operation that leads back to Mossad and the government of Israel and the CIA. They have to squash that because too many people are on it. So but
they've never cared before.
I think that if I had to guess, dude, there are good law enforcement officers out there who saw this shit and were probably doing good work to try and get him arrested. He was getting sued, multiple times by girls and women claiming abuse, going back to like 2006, 2007, 2008. They found multiple passports in his, like, it's so obvious that he was working with intelligence services.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know if you caught the VH1. I put it on the dissident page, but like VH1 did one of those, like, oh, look at these people leading incredibly fabulous lives, like showing their planes and stuff and all the. They did one on him, and it's fucking crazy. I think it's like, I only got like 3 minutes of it, but they were talking about him in like the mid 2000s and like talking about, oh, look, he didn't just have the Lolita Express. He had like 3 planes. One of them was huge, like a passenger plane. I think he took that one with Bill Clinton to Africa. And they're talking about it on this show like he's taking a beautiful vacation with Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey.
And a bunch of underage women and probably men. Yeah. And Ben Shapiro is like, wait, what was I going to say? Shit. Something about Ben Shapiro.
I want to hear it because he sucks so bad.
Well, let me jump to it and see if I can jog my memory.
And the problem mitigation, they're going to be very upset today because it turns out that the DOJ and the FBI, again, does this put to bed like all inquiries? Of course not. People can continue to speculate as much as they want, and I think they're still open.
It doesn't put them to bed. They can
questions here regarding how did Epstein make his money? Right, that's
that. He's like, there are obviously still open questions here. Like, the only example he gives is how did Epstein make his money? Well, Ben, it's pretty obvious how he made his money. It's that the rest of the thing that you're about to say is complete and utter bullshit, and he was making it, playing the role that he was designed and put in place to play. But the only question that Ben Shapiro can come up with after the countless amounts of digging that people have done on this, Ben Shapiro's like, obviously there are still questions, and you can question some things, like how did he make his money? Period. That's it. That's what you can question. Like, I don't know. He had a lemonade stand, Ben. Maybe it was the child sex trafficking ring to elitist pedophiles and bribery that everybody, including, I don't know if Ben Shapiro, but everybody, lots of people. I'm curious to see where Matt Walsh goes with this, because Matt Walsh has been towing the line a little bit there over at the Daily Wire, and he seems to have a little bit of a more honest head on his shoulders. I don't know. But if if how he made his money is the only question that comes to mind left, Ben, after the DOJ says all that shit that we've been talking, even you've been talking, we've been talking, everybody been talking that shit, all that shit's fake. It's gone. Forget it. Forget the things that are on Pam Bondi's desk. Forget the thousands and thousands of hours of footage and the dump truck of documents and everything. Forget all that. The only
Virginia
question...
Giuffre, who was just fucking murdered. Has anybody mentioned that? How about that?
Forget about that. Go off on Virginia. Go ahead.
I just mean that's terrible. Like, she did have a lawsuit. She did sue Prince Andrew. She was interviewed on major networks for this case. But she's dead after she got hit by a bus, lived, and then committed suicide.
Yep.
A month and a half ago. And fucking Netanyahu's been here 3 times, bro. 3 times?
Incidentally, once immediately after the Epstein stuff came out, he came over to, have a chat.
Unbelievable.
But even with the Virginia Guthrie stuff and all of this stuff, the only question I have left is, how did Epstein get so rich? It's crazy. No possible explanation. But just know that if you think that Epstein didn't kill himself, you're a crazy person again. Even from all the right-wingers. And I'm just going to bring this one up there. We're going to go through some of my feed because I was sharing a bunch of them today. Insurrectionist Barbie, who is definitely probably like 12 Mossad dudes running the account, said, "I'm not saying we need to move on from Epstein. I want to see accountability for everything." You'll hear this a lot. What I'm saying is that Epstein is not the end-all and be-all, a defining moment of the Trump presidency like people on here are making it out to be. So you can sell B so you can sell some more rage and make money. It's not the reason why I would support President Trump or not support President Trump. It's important, but so is 100,000 other things. What I'm saying is that perspective, nuance, patience, and common sense need to make a comeback, and fast. So you are impatient, you're common senseless, you are devoid of nuance and perspective if that thing that everybody's been talking about for half a decade at least since he got arrested, and Donald Trump was talking about, and Pam Bondi was talking about, and Kash Patel was talking about, and Dan Bongino was talking about, if you have a problem with them all just in unison saying, fuck you, it's nothing, that's ridiculous, because there's so many other things we need to worry about right now. I think, well, I'm not a single issue voter, but I'm becoming one. Like, this is kind of the litmus test for me. This is definitely my red line. We bitched about Trump bombing Iran and getting involved in all that shit, and then it did kind of blow over, and it wasn't the World War III that we made it out to be. Okay, fair enough. Life goes on. I guess we'll see Trump's next move, or Israel's next move, or whatever. And then a week later, Trump's like, fuck you if you want to talk about Epstein. There's nothing there. You're a dumb conspiracy theorist if you even want to bring it up, and all of his supporters latch onto it. This is my issue. This is my single issue at this point. Yes, I care about other things. I care about war. I care about immigration. I care about abortion. I care about all these things. But if you're gonna lie to me about this to protect your pedo fucking friends, fuck you. This is my single issue litmus test vote right here. And anybody, like, for me to ever vote again is going to require them to give a very definitive answer on this. And it's going to have to be really compelling at this point, because I don't believe anybody at all who gets in the White House has our best interest in mind. And at this point, as I said a couple weeks ago, and it's getting worse as time goes on, at this point, I don't even believe there was an attempt on Trump's life. I don't. I think that he probably put something up to his ear, covered it, blood splatter, it healed up within a week. And the rebuttal that everybody brings up to that is, well, do you think they just shot an innocent guy in the crowd and then shot the shooter? Yes. Yes, I fucking do. Yeah. You remember 9/11? Yeah. I do think that they would kill an innocent firefighter in the crowd just to convince people like me to vote for Donald Trump. And I did. And I don't believe it anymore.
I'm sorry to laugh at that, but when you got, you're just like, I am so mad about this that I am ready to say it. Well, you've probably,
I've been dancing around it. Like I want to believe. And when he had that rah moment after the fight moment, I was jazzed up. I was making T-shirts and shit. I was all about it, and I was like, Trump just won the election. This is amazing. That was an amazing press photo op or whatever. That's all it was, in my opinion. They murdered a guy and did a photo op. That's my opinion. I stand by it. If you're going to tell me that Epstein client list never fucking existed, I don't believe anything that you've done this entire time.
Well, that's the thing, is that you have to, this shatters all trust. So whatever your biggest issue is, this should shatter all of your trust.
Yeah.
That's the correct response to this.
Clearly you're a pawn. Yeah. And I do think it's possible that Dan Bongino and Kash Patel were telling the truth in the past. I think it's possible that they had the best intentions and they were roped into this thing, and maybe even Donald Trump. I don't know. Maybe the assassination attempt was real. Again, the immediate blame of Iran was telling, but Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Pam, I don't know. Those guys going in, everybody's like, yeah, obviously we trust them, but you can see the dead look in their eyes when they have to deliver the lie, as opposed to the fired up outrage that Dan Bongino had for the Epstein case, the countless times that he talked about it on his show for many, many hours. And I've seen some people be like, well, it's just communication issues. I trust them. I believe them. But this is communication issues. They should really come out and say blah, blah, blah. It's like, they don't have communication issues. They've done thousands and thousands of hours of shows, podcasts, like Dan Bongino especially, on camera. He doesn't have communication issues. That's how he built, how we're at least supposed to believe that he built his mecha empire of his show. He does not have communication issues. He speaks the truth. He says it like it is, we're supposed to believe, and does it definitively. And then when asked about this, he gets real quiet, real slunk down, real hunched over, and says, no, I'm serious. Trust me. It looks like fucking Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, the other dude who came back from the moon landing. And they're like, yep, we just went on the biggest space exploration of humankind, and we seem absolutely miserable to deliver the information that we are delivering right now. It's the sign of somebody who is telling a lie based on probably death threats to him and his family.
That's what I was just going to add, if anything, to that conversation, is you should just assume that not only Trump, but Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel are all under threat. Everybody has things that they are not willing to lose or sacrifice, and they're going to protect by all means. And here's the other thing. You should not be surprised. You won't learn, because lots of laws you're just never going to be privy to. But it's probably on the books somewhere that if you get elected to any of these positions, you know how they joke, you come in and then you get they lay down the book in front of you. If you're elected in any of these positions and you jeopardize on purpose national security, which can be anything, could be Jeffrey Epstein and all this shit. Yeah. If you jeopardize national security, we are fully within our right legally to NDAA 2012 you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's within our right. It's in the books. So I wouldn't fuck around if I were you.
Yeah.
That's probably something like that happens.
Like I shared even the Dan Bongino speech when he got the position. And he's the guy who got like kicked off YouTube, and so he became like the Rumble guy and whatever was speaking truth to power and everything. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it's not stupid to have voted for Donald Trump. I know there's a lot of libertarians and leftists that'll be like, see, we told you so. Fine, you did. But holy shit, like the build up to it, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, the build up to it and getting Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, friendly to libertarians, not a libertarian, but friendly to them, Trump, who was friendly to libertarians, released Ross Ulbricht and all that stuff. Yeah, like, it was a fucking good lie, bro. Like, here's a throwback to Dan Bongino just a few months before he was in this position.
About a year and a half after that, I'm in a green room at Fox, and I'm not going to say who because they didn't give me permission to share it, but the short story, but I know who they are. It says, Epstein's an intelligence asset for people in the Middle East, right? I'm like, no, I didn't know that. I'm like, you sure of that? The person, let's say, is like, I'm absolutely sure of that. That he's either a witting or unwitting asset, intelligence asset, meaning his plane and that island, the cameras, there's a big assumption out there that these videotapes were exclusively in the custody of Epstein. That's a huge mistake. The reason they wanted this story to go away is because there's an assumption like, oh yeah, Epstein had him. No, he wasn't the only one who had him, according to this source. These assets, that's why this blackmail story makes so much sense. Which Middle Eastern countries they are, I don't know. But this person, who's a very, very good reporter, I mean, aces, right?
There's no way of telling. Probably.
There's no way. I've done all the journalism I can.
Probably Iran or Qatar or something.
I swore Epstein was either a witting or unwitting intelligence asset, and they may have had his plane wired up, and they're the ones who have all this stuff. So the point is, to sum it up, how do you know some of these countries aren't going to some of these power players who aren't making decisions? Because, hey, you wouldn't want this video out there, right? How do you know?
100%.
I mean,
let's get
about.
Right. So, flashback to Dan Bongino while he still had his soul or wanted to protect his family. I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to even be. No, it's not. It's a little hard for me to be too mean because I know the pressure that these people are under. It's not the pressure of the public. It's the pressure of the people behind the scenes, the deep state that we're supposed to believe that Donald Trump's going to overthrow by masking pedophiles and lists and things. But you went from not only Epstein, it exists, the whole thing is true, but he was, we can't obviously say it, a Mossad agent, some sort of Middle Eastern country intelligence. No way of knowing which one. At the time that this clip came out, I know that there was a lot of, we might have even brought it up, but there was a lot of podcasters who were like, why won't he say the obvious one that it probably is from Jeffrey Epstein? No, there's no way of knowing which one. Even here, he's kind of dancing around, so that proves that you probably shouldn't have fully trusted him, but now he's like, well, all that stuff I said, I was wrong. I was just wrong. You can trust me that I was wrong because I would tell you if I was right, but I was wrong.
I know people like him, and like I know he's really popular and stuff, but like, bro, that you said that was right before he got put into office.
It wasn't long before. Yeah.
I mean, look, it's public information that he was okay. We know he was with Ghislaine Maxwell. Her father
Bongino?
was. Excuse me. No, we know that Epstein was with his partner in crime was Ghislaine Maxwell. That's why she's supposedly in prison. But her father was like one of the highest up at the founding of the Mossad. Like he was heavily involved with, like lived in Britain, involved with the Zionist formation of Israel. Mm-hmm. To be a podcaster of that stature and come out here and you're like, oh, I've got a big scoop, Tim. Check this out. It's just, are you that retarded, or you not do any work, or are you actually in on it? Like, no matter what, it's really disappointing.
I mean, good on him. It is disappointing, but it's also like there were so few people bring it up that it, like, good on him for saying anything. Like, yes, he was beating around the bush as to who it was and everything and acting like it was a scoop, even though it's like 25 years old at that point. But still kind of the same as Donald Trump. Good on you for bringing it up. Donald Trump was talking about the Epstein files. Holy shit. Biden never talked about the Epstein files. Trump didn't talk about the Epstein files last time. Barack Obama, it wasn't a thing yet, supposedly. We're supposed to believe, Barack Obama, Barack Obama, the guy who just orders a whole bunch of pizza and hot dogs and says that the the people with numbers next to their name that are like 12, 13, and 11 will be in the pool this time at our pizza party, at our hot dog party, even though the White House isn't supposed to import any food from anywhere else because it could be a security risk, could be poisoned or whatever. He was shipping in hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of pizza and hot dogs, and I mean, this whole thing just takes me back to the old days where me and Craig was the co-host at the time, and we were digging into the Pizzagate shit, and we were crazy for thinking that that was a thing. We were crazy for even bringing up Epstein. We were crazy for thinking that Comet Ping Pong had a basement because it's documented that it doesn't. Well, you don't have to have a basement to have a tunnel, and you don't have to have a basement to have an exterior entrance to the tunnel. There's so many things that have been labeled stupid conspiracy theories over the years. And I felt like I even gave a fucking speech at your party in Delaware about how we're all fucking Alex Jones now. We're not fucking Alex Jones now. How we're all Alex Jones now because of things like Epstein. Because Epstein became real all of a sudden. All of a sudden, all the crazy conspiracy theorists were proven correct, at least on this one thing. Not Pizzagate necessarily, but there was an elitist pedophile ring run by Jeffrey Epstein to many people that he was friends with. And, like, it takes me back to all those days, because at this point I'm like, fuck it. Pizzagate's real. Donald Trump wasn't assassinated, and I can't believe anything. Like, I can't believe any of these motherfuckers at this point, because Donald Trump, I was skeptical the first 2 times, did not vote for him the first 2 times, even though he was still better than most of his opponents. But this time, he was like, I'm going to get to the bottom of this stuff. And now it's just such an about face that it's a slap in the face to everybody. And all the MAGA cultists who are going right along with it are retards. That's it. If you're still playing along at this point, if you're like, well, that's bad, yes, but let's just sweep this under the rug, or it's Pam Bondi's fault or whatever, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. And if you've been slapped in the face on the job at your place of elitist employment for the Illuminati, you should contact Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Have you or a loved one been injured by some fucknuggets, reckless driving, a tumble at your shitty job, or some other form of dumb shit outside of your control? Well, fear not, because today's episode is sponsored by a lawyer. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients. Max the Axe is not just a lawyer, but a hardcore Mises Caucus libertarian and also a big supporter of this show and all of our bullshit. Max is the best personal injury lawyer in Texas, but don't judge him by his occupation or location. Max is an avid defender of liberty and justice in whatever state you got fucked in. If you've been injured and your ass needs saving, go with the pros at Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Once again, go to LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered. And we are back. We are back with so many things. So many things, but mostly just one. Let's go ahead and give a throwback to Kash Patel also, because Kash Patel has said some things in the past. He has said a lot of things about Epstein in the past, and that he's going to get to the bottom of it. He even said that he was gonna become the head of the FBI, and he was gonna at least minimize the FBI. Didn't he say something about he was going to overthrow it, like abolish it, get rid of it, basically? Like very libertarian stance? Is that right?
I'm pretty sure I heard that he was going to be doing some abolishing, at least shutting down some offices. I think the best we got was that they moved some people out of D.C. to like different rural communities scattered across the country, but
yeah,
not the same.
Well, here's a clip. I don't know when this is from. It seems a little bit old, but here's Kash Patel on things.
We will shut off the machinery that feeds money into Iran. We will no longer have 100 hostages still in captivity, Israeli and American and otherwise, by Hamas and Iran's Hezbollah mercenary forces. We need America to wake up and prioritize Israel and bring home Israelis and make sure we stand by our #1 ally in Israel.
Now, that might not be that old, actually, because it seems like pretty current events he's talking about there. I could be wrong.
Nice audition tape.
We absolutely need to prioritize Israel and Israel's priorities. So I'm not connecting any threads on the thread board or anything, but the guy who is currently like, yeah, Epstein definitely killed himself and everything's fine, everything's on the up and up. Just thought it was worth a note that some crazy conspiracy theorists have speculated that perhaps Epstein was a Mossad agent. Now, I know that that's crazy. But if you recall, Dan Bongino said that there was some unknown foreign Middle Eastern government that Epstein was definitely, absolutely running cover for, definitely, absolutely working for their intelligence agency. Yeah, I don't know. If you're connecting the dots at this point, you're an anti-Semite and you should be deported per Donald Trump's orders. And you are a crazy conspiracy theorist. Now, I shared a bunch of no's today because I've noticed that the entire wall, my entire Twitter X wall, has been flooded with people being like, do you still trust Dan Bongino? He's doing a great job. Do you still trust him? Yes or no? And I filled my thing with a bunch of no's. Here's a few. No. Would you vote for Donald Trump again without hesitation? No. Would you support... Charlie Kirk shared this one too. Would you support releasing the Epstein files even if it could send Republicans to prison?
Oh my God. Are you serious? Show me that account. I want to make sure that's not fucking...
Well, this one is Tara Bowl. I don't know, but Charlie Kirk definitely shared this exact same one earlier today because my response to it was, I don't give a fuck what hat your pedo friends are wearing today, Chuck. Yes, lock them up. I don't give a shit. And the fact that this question is even being asked, this is the propaganda campaign right here. This Dr. Joseph Ford Cotto, I don't know who that is, but he's posted a lot of these things saying, I'm glad Donald Trump's standing with Pam Bondi. Are you glad too? No. Let's see. Later, this is to Elon Musk. Elon Musk post, how can people expect to have faith in Trump if he won't release the Epstein files? And this guy, Leo Terrell, who is a fair-minded American, former Fox News contributor, I've heard enough. So BoomerCon says, later in your life, you will apologize to President Trump for the below referenced tweet that he asked, how can we be expected to trust Trump after this? You will apologize for that later. And to have people like James Lindsay being like, the woke right is anybody who questions wars and Israel and Donald Trump. Like, this is the fucking woke right here. The people who are like running cover not even 48 hours after the White House and the DOJ put out the most dog shit explanations for the biggest case imaginable. We're supposed to just go along with it. Oh, here's one. Attorney General Pam Bondi said California officials are failing to protect girls on the playing field and in the locker room. The Department of Justice has filed suit. Now, we're just getting back to basics, and Donald Trump and the Kash Patel, what's his face, Dan Bongino, everybody's like, oh, we're getting back to basics now. We're just going to move along from this. Now that the FBI has concluded, finally put this case to a close and come to the conclusion that it's literally nothing, even though there's people in jail and people who killed themselves, now we can get back to basics. This is similar. Pam Bondi today, 6 hours ago, is like, don't you care about trans women in your bathrooms? We need to protect girls. Not the underage ones on Epstein Island or anything, but, the ones in the locker rooms that are easier to talk about.
Yeah, it's the Ben Shapiro model, dude. Just hit the low-hanging fruit. Do that. I'm going to make a prediction, though. I will say that she will be gone soon because that will do two things. One, they got to she's a liability at this point.
Yeah. Exactly what Laura Loomer's setting it up for. As if you get rid of her, this goes away.
You did your function. You came to do that. And the next person won't have to answer these questions. So like they'll just, you did your job, you're gone. The followers like Cat Turd and some of the other more hardcore ones will be like, see, justice. She flubbed it, and you got what it's all going according to plan.
Yeah. One of the bigger disappointments that's similar to Cat Turd, Juanita Broderick, who has been on the show to talk about how she got raped by Bill Clinton. She immediately, similar to Cat Turd, came out and was like, well, this is an abomination. This is obviously crazy and not true. And then, similar to Cat Turd, immediately after, once her spinning wheels caught up to the truth, she was like, wait, that means I'm questioning Trump, which means I'm a traitor and treasonous to my cult. She immediately not backpedaled, but moved on to, yes, Pam Bondi, bad. Pam Bondi. Yes, that's the evildoer here. Here's another one from the real MKB. I don't know who that is, but they said, X is ridiculous right now. I am getting so mad seeing all the people talk crap about Trump. I trust Trump, and you all can fuck off, is what they said. X22 Report is an old school. I believe I'm subscribed to them on Apple Podcasts, but X22 Report was a big QAnon group back in the day. I haven't seen anything from this name in like 10 years, and now out of the woodwork comes the Epstein files are far from over. Trump has more people than ever talking about it. Let me open this. There are over 275,000 posts involving Epstein in the past week. Do you see it? So still, trust the plan. This is what Trump was going for. He's trying to get us all to talk about it. Motherfucker, we were already talking about it more than we are now. Well, not more than we are now, but we were already talking about it. Now we're just talking about how Trump's retarded at best for covering this up. Here's another one. I trust Bongino and Cash because they've earned that over the years, but they need to work on their communication skills with the American people. They need to explain themselves a little bit. Are there no speechwriters? So we just need more people to come in with speechwriters and propaganda to tell them what to say rather than just, expecting them to tell the truth because they're just bad at communication. That's why they said the opposite of what they said before.
Bro, I'm glad I'm not a fucking idiot. I'm grateful for my intellect. I'm not a genius. I'm far from it. But a lot of people are just idiots. You believe this shit? You're so in your cult. You're so in your whatever. I don't know what it is. Stupidity or more of the cult stuff. I'm not sure. I don't care.
It's there. I'm getting paid for saying the things that people want me to say.
Well, no. Okay. There are paid influencers, but then they're there to influence millions of retards.
Right.
You got to you have to be so fucking dumb to not see through this. So lazy. There's facts out there that if you've been paying attention for 5, 10, 20 years, you should, the writing's on the wall.
Yeah.
So you're ignorant at best, I guess.
Absolutely. Here's another one. Mr. Star Spangled MAGA says we need to chill. Hold on.
Nazi fags.
We need to chill, stay focused, stay united. We will lose 2026 and 2028 if we don't. So we need to calm down and stop talking about the child rapist, elitist, pedophile ring bullshit that Donald Trump is covering up. We need to calm down because we're going to lose our politics next time. And this brings me back to, if there's anything that makes me a libertarian, more than anything, it's MAGA at this point, being like, we gotta chill, otherwise we're gonna lose the election. Good! Fuck you. Fuck your election. If you're going to lie to me, and you're going to be complicit in the lies, and you're going to appoint people who are also complicit in the lies, go fuck yourself. And I don't care if the Democrats win, because they're doing it too. So you're no different. If you're gonna be no different, then fuck you. I'm not voting for you. Yes, you deserve to lose if you're full of shit.
Go to my Twitter page, Dave versus Goliath 1, and go vote in my poll, which asks, would you rather have a Congress filled with all Randy Fines or all Ilhan Omars? Go.
Yep.
It's a tough one.
At this
There's
point,
a way.
it is a tough one, and I've found myself agreeing with the Nina Turners of the world, or even the fucking Democrat Party shared something like, if Trump can't be honest about Epstein, then how can he be? And I'm like, stop making me agree with Democrats. Just like the exact same way that 6 years ago I was like, please stop making me agree with Donald Trump. Democrats, please stop. Now it's completely inverted, and the retards of the Democratic Party are like they're not even being honest. They're just disagreeing with Trump, which puts them in the truth camp at this point on this one. And that's all. Like on the Iran strike and this, the Democrats are opposed because they're opposed to everything that Trump says. So I'm not like giving them too much too much credibility or anything, but like, stop making me agree with people that just disagree with you because I want the thing that I voted for, which was in large part the Epstein list. And also there's this story that came out today that's like, oh, we're going to launch a criminal investigation into John Brennan and James Comey about the Trump-Russia hoax and shit. And I'm just like, thanks for the distraction. I don't care. Nothing's going to come of it. Nothing came of their investigation. Obviously, Trump got elected after that. Fuck off. I don't care that they were telling lies just like you're telling lies now. I care more about the current lies than the lies of the past. I don't care if they get arrested. They're not going to anyway. They're your best buds that are going to the elitist pizza parties. I don't give a shit. Like, I don't care that you're investigating somebody who said lies about Trump in the past. Well, I care more about Trump telling lies in the current than I care about them telling lies in the past. Thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, they should have dropped that news like weeks ago or
Yeah.
months ago.
Should have been a lead
Because
up to
then-
this bullshit.
Right, but the timing is terrible. Like, had you said that a week ago even, I would have been like, oh shit, Pam Bondi? who I
Doing
thought
something?
was under total control of a foreign government is going after the deep state? Okay.
Mhm.
That's neat.
Mhm.
But since that came the same time that Netanyahu got here, the same time that you told everybody to shut up when they were talking about Epstein, which is, by the way, I think this is like the anniversary of the time that he got locked up. It's like right a few days ago.
Yeah.
Getting the time hops from that 2018, maybe they locked him up. So yeah, it's a lot of time. And you,
I don't care. He should be locked up for many more things since then, including this. He should be locked up for running cover for pedophiles. This is the biggest, I think, impeachment argument that the Democrats should be making, and everybody should be making. The Republicans should be making. If Donald Trump is covering up the elitist pedophile ring, that's kind of the biggest news. Instead, you have people like pro-America politics saying, you will never, ever get me to believe Dan Bongino would ever cover up for child rapists. You know damn well he wouldn't. Stop the lies. It's on you. You're lying, not Dan Bongino. He would never lie to me, that politician.
So I'm not going to, that guy, you would never debate him because you just have to assume that these people are bots, paid influencers, whatever. But what he doesn't understand, or his followers don't understand, is that it's not that it's a straw man argument. Oh, I like Dan Bongino. I find him to be trustworthy. So this is impossible.
Yeah.
First of all, it's not. And he's now in a position of power. He's accountable to power. So you can't trust him anymore. Like if Dan Smotz got a job at DOJ and started working and going, Dave, I got some real great information here that you should really, I would be like, yeah, but I can't trust you anymore.
Yeah, like if Dave Smith worked out his political career and ended up in a position of power, and then Dave Smith was suddenly like, not even saying, but saying while slumped over and very serious and outside of Dave Smith's normal character, suddenly Dave Smith was like, yeah, trust me guys, like if I tell you something you got to believe it, and you believe me, all this time.
Consistent, right guys?
Yeah,
consistent.
Yeah, the most consistent motherfucker you know, right? And I'm telling you that we need to go to war with Iran, and Epstein never existed. I'd be like, fuck you, Dave Smith. I don't care. Like, I don't care what you said till you became a politician. I care what you said after you became a politician at this point, because it's exactly what we expected you to say as soon as you became a politician, because nobody believes anybody. Or you shouldn't believe anybody who gets into a position of power. They have to fucking prove it. And they haven't proven anything to what they're saying. They're like, well, all of the tapes, all of the files, everything was just child porn, and we obviously can't show that. You can't, there's no lists or anything. This is just a dude wanking off in his palace on an island somewhere. The biggest question to ask is, how did he get his money to have his wank palace? Like, really? That's it? That's the biggest question? And now we've got, like, the propaganda is in full force, because Caroline Levitt is like sharing things like trust in Trump sentiment surges as economy booms. They're trying very hard to distract from this. Trust. Here's another one. Trust the plan. Do you still have trust in these three leading the DOJ and FBI? It's Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, and Dan Bongino. Do you still trust them? No, I don't. Let's see. Are you happy with Donald Trump as the commander-in-chief? Drop a yes. No. I'm not against Trump. I'm against child trafficking. There's a massive difference. Is there, though? Is there a massive difference? Is there a massive difference between trusting Donald Trump and is there a massive difference between supporting Donald Trump or supporting cover-ups of child trafficking at this point? Dave, is there a massive difference?
Look, it's what he's doing is despicable. And is there a massive difference between supporting child trafficking and supporting? I don't know. I'm going to give the Juanita Brodericks of the world a break, because they're stupid, fucking retarded boomers, and they don't. I will take pity on people who aren't smart enough, dude. I guess But for these the influencers who are pushing this knowingly, and to our politicians, to Congress, who is fucking owned, with each one of them with the Star of David tattooed, tramp stamp above their buttholes, then fuck them. Like they know what they're doing. Fuck Lindsey Graham, knowingly. I mean, dude, we haven't even gotten into this yet, but the same people who were behind all of the human trafficking, and they're also behind the mass murder of thousands and thousands of children and women, and the displacement of millions of people as their greater Israel project continues through Syria and Lebanon, and I'm sure Iraq, and like wherever else the fuck they want to go, because that's why we've been there the whole time. Because
not to mention the murder that definitely happened with the kids that they raped on the island and dumped in the ocean. But go on. Yeah.
No. Yeah. I don't know what the answer to this is, dude, because we're so surrounded. So I don't know. I bet you, like, of course, like it's all coming together. Oh yeah. Of course you have to tie up like speech laws, because we're going to come after you. Oh, of course. Anti-Semitism is on the rise, because we're going to go murder thousands of people. So like, of course, okay, we're going to have like a program for that too. And of course, this is a big topic. Everyone's talking about it. Theo Vaughn wants to know what's up with Jeffrey Epstein. We're going to have to put that to bed. So we got to send out our own army of insurrection Barbies and cat turds and other assorted retards to go, oh, you guys, I'm not for human trafficking, but like, Trump's cool. I trust these guys. Like it's the coordinate. It really is so sophisticated, dude.
Yeah.
What they're doing.
It's not that sophisticated. It's about as sophisticated as
it is.
COVID.
They're idiots doing it. But the same
it's
people
planned.
are doing it.
It's definitely orchestrated. I don't think that it's that smart, because their entire plan right now is like, you're stupid if you believe that. I trust these people. I trust them. Here's at Chicago One Ray, who says, if I was asked besides Trump, who do you trust that's working for the government right now? My answer would flat out be Dan Bongino. Why? Why is this coming up right now? Why are you saying that right now? Is it because he just covered up bullshit?
I'm sorry, bro. I'm in the comments. Not Salmon Fish just said, bro, just admit supporting Trump is a gay sex act. True though.
Yeah, at this point, yeah. Happy after Pride Month. Here is he deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Oh, that's another thing. Benjamin Netanyahu appointed Trump or nominated or whatever Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize based on his bombing of Iran. And now suddenly everybody's like, yeah, he deserves that, right? He deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, about as much as Barack Obama did. He deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for bombing people until he got what he wanted and covering up bullshit. Yes or no? No. Here's another one. There are very few people I could trust more than Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. If you're MAGA, you need to as well. They are fighting every day to save America and bring justice back. Like these, I don't feel like I've ever seen more glowing support of Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Donald Trump as I do right now, right after this bullshit comes out. And they're not saying what it has to do with. They're just saying it's just ongoing, nonstop. Do you still trust Pam Bondi? Do you still trust Kash Patel? Do you still trust Bongino? Do you still trust Donald Trump? No. And they're only saying it because obviously no. Why would anybody trust them when they're obviously lying to you? Not only lying to you, gaslighting you into believing that you're stupid for thinking that the thing that they said yesterday is a thing at all, that it even exists.
Yes.
I still fully trust FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino. Do you? Like, this is fucking Mockingbird.
It's a campaign.
Bullshit.
It's a campaign.
It's so obvious because it's all nonstop. Here's another one. Here's a thread that I shared earlier today. Let me actually minimize that so you can see it better. Spitfire at Dog Right Girl says, psst, ... It's okay to be angry about the handling of the Epstein files and still support Trump. Be an independent thinker. Be an independent thinker who just goes with the fucking flow of your cult right now. Be an independent thinker who supports Donald Trump even though he's clearly running cover for pedophiles. Think for yourself and do what the cult leader says. John Cardillo says, the Epstein obsession is a social media construct. People in the world care about gas and grocery prices, the quality of their kids' schools, taxes, and all the other things that affect their daily lives. Trump is right. They don't care about Jeffrey Epstein. We don't care at all about this. Right? Everybody agrees, right? We all agree we don't care about the pedophiles. Again, Dr. Joseph Ford Cotto says, I don't think Pam Bondi lied to America about Jeffrey Epstein. I think she misspoke. She probably shouldn't have done that Fox News interview, but I honestly don't think she's knowingly and willingly lied. Do you agree? They're all questions, too, which makes it even, like, did you literally get the script? Did you literally get it passed down to you? We've said it before on the show that the script is obvious, but now it's even more obvious because it's like, there's an obvious problem with the guy that we put into place doing the opposite of what the guy we put into place said he was going to do. And now everybody out of the woodwork is like, you still trust him, right? You trust him. You trust him. You trust him. You trust them. You trust them. They're doing right, right? You agree, right? Right? It's so bad. And so, like, it's not even good propaganda because it's so obvious to anybody who's not stupid. They're running cover for pedos. They're doing that. Every single one of them is. There might be a worthwhile explanation to it. Maybe their life or their children's life or something was threatened. But we all know that this is true. They all know this is true. They all know that we know that this is true. They all know that we know that we're lying, that they're lying. But we're supposed to just trust them because they work for the government. How is this any different from everything that the Democrats said about COVID? How is this any different from what a lot of Republicans, including Donald Trump, who did the lockdowns and implemented all Operation Warp Speed. How is this any different from any of that? It's always the same fucking thing, and I'm not going to believe any of these people that get into power because we've been handed the most golden opportunity as it was presented. The people that were questioning authority, the dissidents like Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Donald Trump, the people who are being attacked for their beliefs, they're the ones in charge now. And so now we can all rest assured that everything that they say is true. But if we have been paying attention at all in the last 20 years of our lives, it's not true. And we all know that it's not true. And now they're telling us you have to trust them. And they're not giving us any evidence on it. So tell me exactly how the woke right are the people who are going against this stuff, as opposed to the people who are like, this is the narrative, and if you go against the narrative, you are evil, bad bastards, and we will shut you down. This is the exact same playbook as the George Floyds, as the Black Lives Matter, as all the stuff that Republicans disagreed with before. This is the exact same thing, just with a different spin. It is exactly what the elitists want to happen, and they're going to shift the entire scope of politics to their will, and they're going to make you believe that you are stupid and crazy if you think that COVID isn't that big a deal. Or Jeffrey Epstein had any clients at all. And again, that brings me back to my main point. I can't believe they didn't come up with a better lie, because they're good at lying 90%, or at least maybe 60% of the time. They were really good at lying and getting Donald Trump in there, to the extent that it convinced me, convinced you, convinced a lot of our friends that Donald Trump was against Epstein, against war, against all this stuff. And now he's just like, fuck you. I'm going to do what I want, or not even what I want. I'm going to do what I'm told. And it's not going to be any different than the last. It's not any. Is it more embarrassing that Joe Biden pulled out of Afghanistan and left a couple Americans there and left a bunch of artillery there and blah, blah, blah? Is that more embarrassing? We're supposed to believe from the neocons that that was an embarrassment. And we shouldn't praise Joe Biden for pulling out of Afghanistan because that was an embarrassment. Donald Trump is telling you Jeffrey Epstein is just a gross dude that jerks off in his mansion on an island to kiddie porn that he downloaded from the internet, had no clients, no bribery, no blackmail. There's nothing more to this. Even Bill Clinton was not involved. Tom Hanks, not involved. Nobody was involved at all with this thing. And if you're even bringing this up right now, man, that's crazy. Why would you bring... That's totally irrelevant information. Totally irrelevant conversation, because that's years ago. Nobody's even talked about Epstein. Oh, even though we just said yesterday that the whole thing that we were talking about was a lie. It's so infuriating. And if you're not infuriated, you are part of a fucking cult. And I don't like to say that. I don't like that you are. This is not an insult to you, because we both fell for it. We both voted for him. We both liked him leading up to this last election, at least to some degree. And he gave us Ross Ulbricht. And now he's giving us war, immigration, just unfettered immigration. I know he's saying now that he doesn't believe in amnesty at all. That was his latest statement, but that was immediately after he said amnesty for certain people. The things that you voted for, are you getting them? Yeah, Planned Parenthood was defunded. We didn't really bring that up. We'll see how far that even goes. But in the greater scheme of things, there are powers that be that are determining. I don't know who they are. I don't know what country, what Middle Eastern country they work for or whatever, but there are powers that be involved in this thing clearly. And if you're still denying that, then you're just you voted for John McCain, George Bush, Barack Obama. You voted for everybody who does the exact same fucking thing. They give you a little bit of cheese to string you along and make you think that you're gonna get the world. And he promised the world. He promised so many things. We're gonna build a wall. We're gonna close up the borders. We're gonna deport a million plus immigrants. We're going to Stop the wars. I just want people to stop dying. We're going to release the JFK files because obviously people want that. That's a big deal. I'm going to give it to Bobby and he's going to put it out there. Bullshit. We're going to release the MLK files. Nobody even cares about that. Nobody has even said anything about that since. We're going to release possibly the Epstein files. No, the Epstein files don't exist. That's what Donald Trump is telling you. He's slapping you in the face. If you don't realize that, then you are in a cult. I don't care who you are or what you believe. You're in a cult, and he is no different than anybody else. He's just a slightly varied brand of the fucking deep state that he pretends to oppose, that pretended to lock him up, that pretended to fake assassinate him, that pretended all these things, and now they're pretending again like nothing happened. Everything just goes away in the end. It always does. And that's how you know they're full of shit. Dave, any thoughts?
After that, damn. Yeah, I'll say this, man. Like I voted for Trump, but I did not. I didn't think that this was like. I was not really convinced. In fact, I always said that I thought that he was a tool of the Zionist establishment.
Sure,
but I thought that would probably come into play more on foreign policy.
I thought it'd be more subtle.
And I maybe then, dude, I just didn't know like the extent to which we were truly captured. Because I thought maybe you could get somebody in the FBI, like if he puts somebody over here and he's putting all these great people in positions, then you have this like coalition inside, but they're all owned, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They're all there because they know that they can be trusted because there's either information on them, they can blackmail them, or they've already earned their stripes, like Pam Bondi in Florida before. But I don't know, man. Just don't trust any politicians. Like that is crazy that we have equal parts loyal cultists on the left than we do on the right. I will say this. There have been, at least on the right, there are some influencers and people with some reach that are going, no, this is bullshit. Lauren Witzke is one that was, full on MAGA from 2015 on. Ran as a MAGA. She sells my PLOs right now. Like full on, that's her team. But she is not down. She's a mother and she's a Christian. So she is not down with any of this and recognizes it fully. So, and there's lots of other people like her, Elijah Schaffer. And, like, unfortunately, some of these people are getting, the anti-Semite or even Nazi, like branding.
Of course they are.
Which is just it's a telling of the times. Like it sucks that I'll listen to something that Nick Fuentes will say and I'll go, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense. And I believe what you just said, or same for Blitzerian or, Jake Shields. It takes balls to go after this thing, dude. And, like I would not use some of the language that they do because I'm really focused on the governmental atrocities, Now I know if PQ was here, he would talk about culture and how this is thousands of years old and it's out of my pay grade, dude. But all I know is that like you can derail your own argument by using some of that language. Yeah. Like I'm trying to get more people to see this. So if you just play into Ben Shapiro's cards and geez, then you're lost. You're David Duke and I'm not listening to you anymore. They'll shut you down.
Yep.
So you have to really be smart about this. So that's my advice.
Yeah, and we saw it with James Lindsay's entire campaign. He was the I don't know, the catalyst to the woke right. The woke right, or anybody who disagrees with this war against Gaza and Iran or whatever. If you disagree with that, then you're you hate Jews or whatever. And it's like, no, that's not it. I hate evil people, and I hate evil people from any country, and I don't care what country it is or what the Bible says about that country. If you're evil, I'm going to talk about you. And that's where we're at now. I think we should play again this clip of Donald Trump's thing. Just watch this again. Any boomer con that's watching right now, watch this. You know what Epstein is. You know what Epstein was. The people that, he colluded with and worked with to some degree. And if you don't, do a little bit of research. Ben Shapiro asked for any evidence that is to the contrary, that there was ever an Epstein Island at all. There's plenty. There's tons. There's buttloads of evidence, and that's why he ran on this. That's why he made this a talk point in his campaign. That's why it was brought up, because people fucking care about the elitist Bohemian Grove Illuminati bullshit artists that are running our country, no matter where they come from. But here's your guy. Here's your cult leader. Talking about the pedophile who sold kids to other pedophiles who run our country. That happened. We all know it. Here's his response.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Costa, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the stabbing?
Yeah, sure. If
Hey,
I
Pam,
could...
could I just interrupt for
Sure.
1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things.
We have this, we have
Are
that.
people still talking about this guy, this creep?
I love
That
democracy.
is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I was asked a question about the...
That's enough. Just one Trump's bit there. What is
Still
wrong with
talking
you?
about this?
Still 20 hours after we put out the release that said that nothing happened? How are you still talking about that, you crazy conspiracy theorists? Sounds a lot like the people who said the do your own research crowd during COVID were crazy conspiracy theorists, or the, like, if you question the jab at all, then you're just a crazy conspiracy theorist. You just want to kill What is wrong with you? Why do you want to kill Grandma? All right, we got to read a couple of these fake super chats because we've been rambling for a while. Fake super chat from Rise to Liberty. Live your life in a way that doesn't allow the government to attain blackmail material on you. Also, there's no political solution, only agorism. Okay, nerd. Only agorism.
Actually, we'll just commit to agorism.
And then, I mean, this is like a week after I posted something that was like, is libertarianism really that much different from socialism? Where it's like, on paper, it looks beautiful and it's amazing until it's tried, and then it involves humans and becomes a problem because humans generally suck.
Yeah, but we've had socialism. We've never had libertarianism.
Well, it's never been real, true socialism, Dave, just like there's never been real, true libertarianism.
I don't like that. That sounds like some autistic libertarian made that up. It's never been tried, actually.
Crypto Man says, fake super chat, Jean-Luc Brunel client?
I know that name, but I don't know what he did. I can't remember who that is.
I don't know.
Jean-Luc
Super chat from White Groiper. You want to read that one, Dave?
No. Hell no. But he's right.
Moving on. I mean, they do either way. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, they are. There was also that clip of Donald Trump meeting with Netanyahu, where he was asked, "Is the war over now between Israel and Iran?" And Trump's like, "Well, I hope it is. I think that it would be great if the war was over. It's really up to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu." And I kind of understand that. Like, if it was their war, then it would be up to him. But for it to be said in the Oval Office, like, I don't know. It's up to a foreign dictator, a foreign leader, to decide whether or not this war that we are heavily involved in is over.
I'll be right over here praying for peace. People are dying. People are dying.
I want
dying.
peace. I want the dying to stop.
You
I'm
can
going
do
to keep
whatever you
sending defensive military-grade weapons to Ukraine and Israel, but I want the dying to stop. These are only defensive ones. I told them specifically they're only to be used if you are attacked first. Only defensive shooting, only defensive bombs, not the offensive bombs like Israel's been dropping for the last year. And we have also dropped. Well, that's about our time. Dave, any final thoughts on this? All the topics that we discussed today, which were entirely one, and I kind of knew that this is where it was going to go, and I knew that we wouldn't be able to get to an after party, and I knew that we wouldn't be able to get to so many things that are happening, like Grok apparently went full-on blown Nazi, calling itself Mecha Hitler. That should absolutely be the after party. We might have to talk about that later, but this slap in the face, this humiliation ritual to the world that Donald Trump and his ilk have dispensed seemed like 2 hours worth of conversation, because I have been fuming for the last 3 days since this happened, and wanted to there's so many directions for it that I feel like we've covered the vast majority of them. Dave, any final thoughts on any of that?
Yeah, this is my favorite show we've had in a while. I really liked the long form, one subject, let's fucking go and talk about that. So, and it is that important. That's why you are that pissed. Everybody should be talking about this. And man, I don't know. Ever since Ron Paul got screwed, I've just always lived under the assumption that Superman's not coming. So I'm just not shocked. I'm not terribly, like I said, my life is okay, but this was inevitable. And if you believe that the world is run by, as we have discussed previous to this, satanic, pedophile, technocratic demons,
Nazi fags,
then you're just not going to vote your way out of that. Grow up. That's what I suggest. And it's not over yet. God is good and the devil is not. And I know where I am. So fight the demons, man. That's all I got to say. And try and spot them and shout the devil's name when he appears. Don't be fucking fooled. He's a deceiver, and it's going to feel good to run with the devil. So do the hard thing. Do right and fight. And be honest. Say what you see. Y'all see it, right? We're not crazy. Let us know. Dan at tsidpod.com is the email address. Let us know wherever you can find us. Are we crazy? Are we the crazy ones for saying what we obviously see, even though it's very unpopular right now, to be honest, and it makes us Democrats and terrorist sympathizers and anti-Semites and Nazis or whatever? Let us know. Are you seeing the same thing that we're seeing, or are we crazy? Let us know. Crypto Man says, fake super chat, Virginia Giuffre accused Brunel of having sexually trafficked girls for Epstein. So that's where the Brunel thing came in. Gotcha. You can find me at TSIDPod on Twitter. TheSystemIsDown.tv is the website, or wherever the Systems Downs are sold, at Dissident Media and DistantMedia.com and other things. Dave, where can people find you? And let's get the fuck out of here and go live in this hellhole. Find me. I am elusive as fuck. No, go to DissidentMedia.com. We will replace those very Trumpian t-shirts in there soon with something with a little bit more stank on it. Got a few. Here come the Massey shirts. That's where you can find me. DissidentMedia.com. Absolutely. And I do want to throw back to briefly where the system is down. The name even came from was when Donald Trump started running for president, and I was like, oh shit, the system is down. Like, the shit's going crazy. Like, I wasn't a supporter, didn't vote for him the first 2 times, but I was like, oh, something crazy is going on here. And that's what the show has always been about, is just being honest and having uncomfortable conversations and dialogue about things that the powers that be disagree with. The system is fucking down. And I feel like if I can give any positive silver lining to this conversation today, it's that even more than COVID, the emperor's ass is on full display. The emperor's clothes have never been more off,
when Donald Trump is telling you that you're stupid for believing that Epstein ever existed or whatever, that is an admission of guilt. That is an admission of guilt to some degree, or guilt for his friends, or guilt of taking bribes, or guilt of accepting that he's going to be assassinated. Whatever the reason is, it is an admission of guilt, and Trump is complicit. The system is down, and the powers that be are a little shaken, I would say. And to the extent that they don't have even a good lie to give. They don't even have, well, Qatar was the people behind Epstein or whatever, or, obviously Hamas was behind Epstein. They know that their ass is hanging out, and the only thing that they have to give to the people that are demanding Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, Donald Trump, all the people that got elected because of this position, the only thing that they can do with a gun to their head saying, you better say something, the only thing they have is, it doesn't exist. And you're stupid for believing that it did. And you're stupid for believing that it didn't at this point. So thank you all for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time. This has been fun. It's fun to get back to roots of conspiracy land and anti-establishment land or whatever. We had a little bit of hope for a second, and when the intro says where everything sucks, just know that it does. If you're paying attention to politics, go touch grass, live your life, be with your wife and kids and everything, as I'm going to do. Hang out, live life, have fun. Most of this will barely affect the common person's life, which is why they go along with the narrative. Just know that you know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. So share it or don't. Just go live your life. There's a little bit of hope. It's the best hope that I can give is it's no different than it's always been. Unfortunately, he's the same as everybody else, and we will do the same thing that we've always done. So thanks, y'all, for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, question everything. Stay uncomfortable. Be bad. Have fun. We'll talk to you then. Peace out.
Thanks for watching. Smash all the like and subscribe buttons, because that's what we say at the end of videos. Good night, everybody.
This concludes our broadcast day.